Have you ever wondered why certain struggles keep showing up in your life? Why do some people enter your world, cause you unimaginable pain, and then disappear the moment you've healed from the wounds they left behind? Or have you ever found yourself trying everything to succeed on a particular path, only to experience obstacle after obstacle while watching others flourish effortlessly on that very same path? For many people, these experiences become so confusing that they begin to believe they are cursed, spiritually blocked, or somehow destined to suffer. This pattern is far more common than most people realize. Many individuals spend years, even decades, reliving the same painful cycles. They keep attracting the same type of romantic partner, they find themselves trapped in toxic relationships over and over again, the same conflicts continue to appear with friends and family, and eventually they begin to lose the ability to build a healthy relationship even with themselves. Over time, these unresolved experiences slowly give birth to emotions such as hatred, envy, anger, resentment, aggression, and jealousy. Instead of looking within, many people begin blaming the world around them for their failures, their disappointments, and their lack of success, never realizing that none of these emotions truly define who they are. The truth is, these emotions are not your true identity. Before you incarnated into this physical plane of existence, you existed as pure consciousness. You existed beyond limiting beliefs, beyond societal conditioning, beyond fear, and beyond attachment to worldly desires. You existed in a state beyond duality. That was your true nature as a soul. Before entering this material reality, every soul made a conscious choice to incarnate here with the intention of learning new lessons, gaining new experiences, expanding its awareness, and evolving its capacity to hold greater wisdom. To make this possible, the soul created what many spiritual teachers refer to as a soul contract. Think of it as a divine blueprint, a carefully designed plan created before your birth. Within this blueprint are your karmic lessons, your soulmate connections, your friendships, your family, your romantic partners, your greatest challenges, your deepest heartbreaks, and even the people who will unexpectedly appear to support you during your journey. It also includes your spirit guides, your ancestors, angels, and ascended masters, beings whose role is to guide and assist your spiritual evolution throughout your human experience. None of these encounters are random. According to this perspective, they were all planned and agreed upon by your soul before you entered this material plane of existence. Now, many people hear this idea and immediately wonder, if my soul planned all of this, does that mean it wanted me to suffer? It's a reasonable question. When you're living through emotional pain, sleepless nights, anxiety, self-doubt, heartbreak, financial struggles, or overwhelming uncertainty, it can certainly feel that way. But what if these experiences were never meant to punish you? What if they were signposts? What if every obstacle, every disappointment, and every difficult season was gently guiding you toward the path your soul originally intended for you to grow? Imagine your soul contract as planning a journey from one destination to another. Let's use the example of taking a bus trip. Before leaving home, you've already decided which route you'll take, where the bus will stop, which seat you'll sit in, and even some of the people you're likely to meet along the way. Now, imagine deciding halfway through the journey that you'll ignore the planned route entirely. You get off at the wrong stop, you board a different bus heading somewhere else. Suddenly, nothing seems to make sense anymore. The journey becomes confusing, stressful, and filled with unnecessary obstacles. In much the same way, spiritual teachings suggest that every soul incarnates into this physical realm with a unique blueprint. No soul arrives here without purpose or direction. So what happens when your human personality begins walking a path that is completely out of alignment with the intentions your soul set before birth? From this perspective, chaos and inner conflict naturally arise. This is why some paths in life seem to be filled with constant resistance, repeated setbacks, and overwhelming struggle, while other paths unfold with surprising ease and synchronicity. It isn't necessarily because you're being punished or because you're incapable of succeeding. It may simply be that you're moving further away from the direction your soul intended for your growth. The moment your consciousness descends from a higher plane of existence into this dense physical reality, something remarkable happens. A veil of forgetfulness settles over your awareness. You no longer remember the agreements you made before birth. You forget the promises you shared with other souls. You forget the lessons you intended to learn and the experiences you willingly chose. This forgetfulness is part of the human experience itself. Without it, every lesson would already be known, and there would be very little opportunity for genuine growth. Long before you were born, your soul made agreements with other souls who would eventually appear throughout your lifetime. Each of these individuals would play a unique role in your journey, offering experiences that contribute to your spiritual evolution. The very first agreement you made was with the people who would become your parents. According to many spiritual traditions, the souls who are your parents today may have played completely different roles in previous lifetimes. A parent may have once been your child. A sibling may have once been a close friend. A romantic partner may have shared many lifetimes with you before this one. These changing roles exist, from this perspective, to resolve karmic lessons, complete unfinished business, and continue the soul's journey of growth across multiple incarnations. These agreements with other souls are not all the same. Some are lifelong and deeply transformative, others are brief but incredibly intense, and some exist simply to support and encourage you along your journey. In many spiritual teachings, these are often understood as primary, secondary, and tertiary soul contracts. Let's begin with the primary soul contract. Your primary soul contracts are the most significant relationships you will experience during your lifetime. These include your parents, siblings, close family members, and, in many cases, your long-term romantic partner. These are the souls who shape the foundation of your earthly experience. Because these relationships are so deeply connected to your spiritual evolution, they often carry the greatest emotional intensity. They are the relationships that challenge you the most, push you beyond your comfort zone, and reveal the deepest parts of yourself that still need healing. From this perspective, many of these souls have shared previous lifetimes with you. Some of these relationships may exist to resolve karmic debts, complete unfinished lessons, or help both souls evolve together. That is why these connections often feel impossible to ignore. Even when they become painful, you may find yourself unable to simply walk away because the lesson has not yet been fully understood. Primary soul contracts have the power to transform your entire life. They shape your personality, influence your strengths and weaknesses, and present the experiences that prepare you to fulfill your soul's purpose during this lifetime. Although these relationships can bring immense love and support, they can also become the source of your greatest pain. But according to this perspective, that pain is not without purpose. Every challenge is inviting you to heal, to grow, and to become more aligned with who your soul truly came here to be. Once the lesson has been learned and genuine healing takes place, the contract is considered complete. If those lessons remain unresolved, many spiritual traditions suggest that the same patterns may continue repeating, not only throughout this lifetime, but possibly in future incarnations as well, until the soul fully integrates what it came here to learn. Next comes the secondary soul contract. These relationships are also incredibly powerful, but unlike primary soul contracts, they are usually temporary. They enter your life for a specific purpose, trigger profound emotional transformation, and then disappear once their role has been fulfilled. Think about that friend who betrayed your trust so deeply that it shattered your understanding of friendship. Or perhaps it was the romantic partner who cheated on you, broke your heart, and left you questioning whether you could ever love again. At first, these experiences feel devastating. They leave behind heartbreak, anger, disappointment, and emotional scars that may take years to heal. But after enough time has passed, many people begin to recognize that those painful experiences forced them to discover something they had been missing within themselves. Perhaps they learned self-love. Perhaps they developed healthy boundaries. Perhaps they finally understood their own worth instead of seeking validation from others. Perhaps they learned forgiveness, resilience, or the courage to stop abandoning themselves for the sake of someone else. From this perspective, these souls were never simply to hurt you.
Their role was to awaken something within you that could not have emerged without the experience itself. Once the lesson has been learned and the emotional wound has been healed, these individuals often leave your life just as unexpectedly as they arrived. Their contract has been fulfilled. Many people spend years wondering why someone entered their life only to disappear without explanation. According to this understanding, it may be because they were never meant to stay forever. They were meant to teach. And once the lesson was complete, both souls continued on their separate journeys. Finally, there is the tertiary soul contract. Unlike the first two, tertiary soul contracts are generally not centered around emotional pain or intense transformation. Instead, they are supportive, uplifting, and encouraging. These are the people who appear at exactly the right moment to help you move forward. They may become mentors, teachers, employers, colleagues, business partners, loyal friends, or even complete strangers whose kindness changes the direction of your life. Their purpose is to provide assistance rather than hardship. Imagine receiving a promotion at work that completely changes your life. From a purely human perspective, it may seem like the reward for your hard work and dedication, but none of this is true. You were not given that promotion because you were more qualified for that position than other colleagues. In fact, your soul and the soul of your employer made an agreement before this lifetime to meet at a certain point in your life and offer you an opportunity that will catalyze your growth and evolution. That promotion was always meant to arrive at that exact moment because it would create new opportunities, introduce new lessons, and guide you towards experiences that support your spiritual evolution. This doesn't mean your effort wasn't important. Rather, it suggests that your effort and the opportunities presented to you were both part of a much larger plan designed to help your soul continue its journey. When you look back over your life, you may begin to notice that certain people appeared at exactly the right time. Some challenged you, some broke you, some inspired you, some opened doors you never imagined possible, and some quietly offered the encouragement you needed to keep moving forward when you were ready to give up. From this perspective, none of these encounters were meaningless. Each person served a different purpose. Each relationship carried a unique lesson. Each meeting became another chapter in the unfolding story your soul designed long before you entered this physical world. The purpose of every soul contract is not to reward or punish you. Its purpose is to gently guide you towards the experiences your soul chose in order to learn, heal, evolve, and complete unfinished lessons from previous incarnations. The soul is always expanding. It is always seeking greater awareness, deeper wisdom, and a fuller understanding of itself through experience. According to many spiritual traditions, this journey continues across many lifetimes, until the soul eventually reaches a point where it no longer feels the need to participate in the cycle of incarnation. At that stage, the soul returns to Source, the infinite consciousness from which it came, and once again becomes one with the fabric of all existence.
Although the conscious mind may have forgotten every detail of the soul contract made before birth, many spiritual traditions teach the traces of these memories still exist deep within the subconscious mind. Your soul never completely forgets. Instead, it communicates with you in subtle ways every single day. It speaks through your emotional triggers. It speaks through your dreams. It speaks through your natural gifts and talents. It speaks through your intuition. And it speaks through the synchronicities that seem far too meaningful to be dismissed as mere coincidence. If you learn to recognize this language, you begin to understand the path your soul has been trying to guide you toward all along. Let's begin with your emotional triggers. One of the most powerful ways your subconscious communicates with you is through the people in your life. The people in your life are often mirrors, reflecting unresolved wounds, limiting beliefs, and emotional pain that still exist within you. This is why certain people trigger such intense emotional reactions, while others barely affect you. From this perspective, the soul intentionally places certain individuals on your path to teach you specific lessons. For some, that lesson is patience. For others, it is unconditional love. Some are here to teach you self-love, self-respect, acceptance, forgiveness, and healthy boundaries. Others arrive to awaken your leadership qualities, encourage you to develop your natural gifts, or inspire you to use your talents in service of others. And sometimes, these relationships exist because you and another soul are completing unfinished business or resolving karmic lessons carried over from previous lifetimes. Nothing appears without purpose. Every emotional trigger is an invitation to look inward rather than outward, because the moment you heal what is within you, the external lesson no longer needs to repeat itself. Another powerful way your soul communicates is through your dreams. Many spiritual traditions believe that the dream state allows the subconscious mind to become more active because the conscious mind has temporarily become quiet. Without the constant distractions of the physical world, deeper messages have an opportunity to rise to the surface. The key is not to focus on every random dream you experience. Instead, pay attention to recurring patterns. What dreams keep repeating throughout your life? What symbols continue to appear again and again? These recurring dreams may be your subconscious attempting to guide your awareness towards something important. For example, if you frequently dream about water, it may symbolize emotions that you have not fully acknowledged or processed. If you often dream about being back in school, it may suggest that your soul is trying to teach you a lesson that still requires your attention. If you repeatedly dream of flying, it may represent freedom from limiting beliefs, old patterns, or even generational cycles that your soul came here to overcome. And if you frequently see yourself teaching others in your dreams, it may be a sign that your soul chose this lifetime with the purpose of sharing wisdom, healing others, or guiding people through their own transformation. Many individuals with this type of soul contract experience tremendous hardship early in life, not because they are being punished, but because their own suffering eventually becomes the wisdom that allows them to become a light for others walking similar paths. And if you frequently dream about singing or expressing yourself creatively, it may suggest that your soul intends to heal, inspire, or uplift others through your creativity. Your dreams are not always literal. They communicate through symbols. The more you pay attention to recurring themes rather than isolated experiences, the clearer those messages begin to become. Another clue to your soul contract can be found in your natural talents. Have you ever noticed that certain abilities seem to come effortlessly to you? Perhaps you naturally excel at leadership. Maybe creativity flows through you in the form of singing, dancing, drawing, writing, or storytelling. Perhaps people constantly seek your advice because your presence brings them comfort during difficult times. Or maybe entrepreneurship, innovation, problem-solving, or building meaningful connections comes naturally without anyone ever teaching you. According to many spiritual teachings, these gifts are not random. They may be abilities your soul cultivated through previous incarnations and chose to bring into this lifetime. These gifts exist for a reason, not simply to earn recognition or financial success, but to help you fulfill the unique mission your soul intended before you were born. The gifts that come naturally to you often point toward the direction your soul is asking you to follow. When you ignore those gifts, life may begin to feel empty or out of alignment. But when you embrace them, many people describe experiencing a deep sense of purpose and fulfillment that cannot easily be explained. Finally, there is your intuition and the synchronicities that appear throughout your life. Have you ever wondered why certain ideas suddenly appear in your mind without knowing where they came from? Or why you feel an unexplainable urge to take a particular action, only to discover later that it completely changed the direction of your life? What about repeatedly seeing the same numbers, symbols, or animals wherever you go? Many spiritual traditions believe these experiences are one of the ways the subconscious mind communicates. Unlike the conscious mind, which relies heavily on logic and language, the subconscious mind communicates through feelings, vibration, imagery, and symbols. A single symbol can carry an entire emotional message without using a single word. For example, a lotus flower often represents spiritual awakening, purity, unconditional love, and the ability to rise above adversity.
Now let's talk about numbers. Many people believe repeating numbers carry intuitive messages that encourage self-reflection. The number 1 is often associated with leadership, discipline, independence, and unity. The number 2 is commonly connected to balance, harmony, femininity, compassion, growth, and supportive relationships. The number 3 is frequently seen as a symbol of family, creativity, structure, and strong foundations. Nature also speaks through symbols. Birds may represent freedom, confidence, taking courageous steps forward, and allowing yourself to be fully seen. Butterflies often symbolize transformation, beauty, creativity, and personal growth. Spiders are commonly associated with patience, creativity, productivity, and the ability to weave your own reality through focused intention. Whether these symbols appear in your dreams, in nature, or repeatedly throughout your daily life, they invite you to become more aware of what your subconscious may be trying to communicate. The key is not simply to notice these signs. The real transformation happens when you begin integrating their messages into your everyday life. Because, according to this perspective, these subtle signs are not random at all. They are gentle reminders from your soul, continuously guiding you back toward the path you chose long before you entered this physical world.
So the real key is to become aware of these subtle signs and messages, and more importantly, to begin integrating them into your daily life. Don't simply notice them, live them. Because according to this perspective, they are not random experiences. They are gentle reminders guiding you back toward the path your soul chose long before you entered this physical world. There's a saying in many spiritual traditions that there are no coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. Every person you meet, every opportunity you receive, every challenge you face, every setback that forces you to change direction, every painful ending, every unexpected beginning. From this perspective, your soul does not make mistakes. Before you incarnated into this physical reality, it carefully designed experiences that would challenge you, strengthen you, awaken you, and ultimately guide you toward becoming the highest expression of yourself. This doesn't necessarily mean every experience feels pleasant. Growth rarely does. Sometimes the greatest transformations are born from the deepest pain. Sometimes the people who hurt you the most become the very reason you discover your own strength. Sometimes the doors that close are protecting you from a path that was never truly meant for you. And sometimes the obstacles standing in your way are not there to stop you. They are there to redirect you. The moment you begin seeing life through this lens, your entire perception starts to change. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin asking, "What is this experience trying to teach me?" Instead of seeing pain as your enemy, you begin recognizing it as a teacher. Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, you begin seeing them as redirections. Instead of believing anxiety, uncertainty, or discomfort are signs that something is wrong, you begin to understand that they may simply be pointing you toward a deeper alignment with your soul's path. Little by little, you stop resisting your journey. You stop comparing your life to everyone else's. You stop believing that you are cursed simply because your path looks different. Instead, you begin trusting that every experience, both joyful and painful, is shaping you into the person your soul came here to become. You begin remembering who you were before fear, before conditioning, before the expectations of society told you who you should be. You begin reconnecting with the version of yourself that existed before you forgot your own divine nature. And perhaps that is the greatest purpose of the soul contract. Not to control your life, but to gently guide you back home to yourself. If this message resonates with you, perhaps it isn't by accident. Perhaps you're beginning to notice the subtle signs your soul has been placing before you all along. Perhaps you're reaching a stage in your journey where you're becoming more aware of the deeper meaning behind your experiences. Whether it's through recurring dreams, powerful synchronicities, meaningful relationships, unexpected opportunities, or life lessons that continue repeating until they are finally understood, your soul may already be speaking to you. This video was created to help you recognize those messages,
understand them more deeply, and begin integrating them into your everyday life so that you can walk the path your soul or your higher self chose long before you experienced this physical world. And remember, the journey of spiritual awakening isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you've always been. If you enjoyed this video and would like to explore more topics on manifestation, personal transformation, esoteric knowledge, Gnostic teachings, consciousness, enlightenment, meditation, and spiritual awakening, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a future video. If this message resonated with you, I'd also love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever experienced a relationship that completely transformed your life? Do you believe certain people enter our lives for a spiritual reason? Or have you noticed recurring dreams, synchronicities, or signs that you simply couldn't explain? Share your experience in the comments below. Your story may be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if you found value in this message, don't forget to leave a like. It helps this video reach more people who may be searching for answers on their own spiritual journey. Thank you so much for watching, for sharing this moment with me, and for being part of this growing community. Until next time, continue trusting your journey, continue listening to your intuition, and never stop remembering who you truly are.